This is probably the last video in this series. So what I'm doing is just going through some of the Bollinger bands, and what we've seen with this when this comes back. Right, so this is a very narrow band here, which means we can leverage highly with not really very much risk, but it also means the percentage change is going to be really small. So if we look at what I did in these transactions, I purchased at I think it was 9.7 something, it was around here or so, with the expectation we were going to go into this kind of U shape, but which we sort of did. I mean, but it didn't really. This is the band here. It went up to this point here. This is roughly where we purchased. So if we look at these dynamics here, you can see that it's going to go down, and because this bottom line here, when it gets down here, it's going to start going up again. So what you're going to see is this sort of action, but it's not going to reach this dotted line here unless there's some big change. And if you look at the this kind of, it's very similar to these trading periods here and here. So, and eventually it will come out of this by either doing this with a big sell-off, or what happened over here where a big big rise. But we can see this was from 2 o'clock to 7, 9, so sort of 7 hours of just not really moving that much. Most likely it's impossible to say when, but we can also see loads and loads of seller activity here, which is keeping the price down a lot, and we saw a similar sort of dynamic here, and it's only when the buying. So look what's going on here. So then we saw a lot of buying going on here, which pushed the price up. So as far as this is concerned, I probably won't do any more on this. I mean, this now is gonna, I would expect, to drop down to around here and then get up to around this point, and then who knows what happens after that. I only actually put $20 into this just to show that this point, and so it's 20% off $20, so it's a $4 loss, so it's really no big deal. But the main point here is this is leveraged at 65 times, and the position is still there, so it's not been liquidated, and it's got no real chance of being liquidated in this narrow band. So you can leverage right out, and you can put in here 1,000 and leverage it 100 times and be trading 100,000 here. So then you only need a 2% change, and you've made 2,000 from a $1,000 investment. So you can actually turn 1,000 into 2,000 in the space of a few hours in this type of environment. But that's if you can get a 2% change, which is going to be pretty tough to do. But you could probably get a, let's just work it out, 0.5%. .005 times. You could probably get 0.5%. You could probably make $500 from 1,000 if you wanted to leverage 100. So you've got the buy in here, and I would expect from here for this to sort of get up and climb up to around this position.